Cyclone Veronica is on the verge of making landfall in Western Australia this morning, but it has slowed down substantially and is only just arriving. It's got winds of 100 miles an hour, estimated to be 160 kilometers per hour, pressure 953 as of 9 AM Australian Western Standard Time. It's a stage 7 on the CDPS scale. The rainfall potential has risen markedly, with 600 millimeters of rain possible for some areas if this storm continues to slow down in the way that we're seeing, and this potential stalling that we're also seeing. The wind field is pretty large, as you can see on the graphic here. It's at 20.2 south, 117.4 degrees east, category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, category 3 on the Australian scale, 33 miles from Point Sampson, 43 from Balla Balla, 53 from Karratha, 78 from Port Hedland, and 178 from Onslow. At this time, a cyclone warning remains in effect from Wallal in the east to Mardi in the west. This warning area could extend further west if the storm continues to stay along the coast and if it continues towards the west. And this is what the models are saying. Starting with Sunday, you can see the storm moving inland, massive amounts of rainfall on the southeastern quadrant there. And then starting to move towards the west on Tuesday into Wednesday, and substantial weakening. It really depends if it actually makes landfall or not, how much and how quickly it will weaken. If it stays off the coast, it could regain a little bit more strength, and that's how it could continue further towards the west, delivering tropical storm force winds. If it moves inland, it will weaken pretty quickly to a remnant low by the time it starts drifting off towards the west, and that's what the Bureau of Meteorology are currently saying. Sea surface temperatures for the little time it has over water now are very warm indeed, 31 degrees Celsius, likely in this area, certainly massive amounts of fuel. Here's the wind graphic over the next few days. This is the GFS solution. You can see the winds are getting ferried away towards the west there and all gone by Tuesday, leaving some breezy conditions, but it's probably going to be a big flooding threat, this, and a storm surge, which we're probably already seeing along the coastline right now in Pilbara, and this is likely to continue for a few days yet, especially with that rainfall, and flooding could be the biggest problem from this storm, and it will continue possibly for the whole week. Tropical storm force winds, here are the chances, pretty much certain in Port Hedland and Karratha. Indeed, wind conditions of tropical storm force or higher could already be being felt there. 50% at Marble Bar, 40% at Tom Price, and 60% at Onslow. This is what the intensity guidance is showing, a gradual curve downwards. And again, it really depends if the storm makes landfall or not as to how quickly it's going to weaken. In any case, wind shear is going to rise massively, up to about 30 knots by tomorrow, so even if it did stay out at sea, that's going to kill it off very quickly, I should imagine. Sea surface temperatures, though, not a problem. You can see the remnant of the storm would end up moving off towards the west, away from the Australian continent. This is the latest satellite imagery. Looks fairly decent on the infrared here, but what you can see there in the actual structure of the storm itself is that the eastern side is looking very flaky. The eye wall structure isn't looking very good at all. It's probably got multiple fractures of an eye wall at this point, and when it does indeed make landfall, that what's left of the eye should capitulate pretty quickly, but it will leave behind a lot of water vapor, as you're already seeing on this graphic here, which will lead to massive amounts of rainfall we're expecting from this storm. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page. You're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project reach the next level by becoming a patron. It makes us even better, and you can reap your own benefits from becoming a patron at patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these patrons, too many to read out individually, but we thank them very much for their support through the project over several months now. You can also find Force 13 on Skype and Fool 13 on Discord at extension 9094 for tropical weather chat. Our regional channel, Force 13 Australia and Oceania, will also have more regional weather news in the area during this storm and after.